all, welcome to Art of the Budget. My name's Nicole, my pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish Nations. Today I am sharing with you some things that are cheering me up during the COVID-19 quarantine. Before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to any of you that are working on the front lines in grocery stores, in healthcare, any of those things. Thank you so much for keeping things going while the rest of us are able to shelter in place at home. We obviously couldn't do it without you. The idea for a video about things that are cheering me up came from Louise Poston, which I will link her channel down below. She is kind of a makeup YouTuber, which maybe is kind of weird for me to watch because I'm not really a makeup person myself, clearly. But she actually is just all about like aesthetics and beauty, and she's a working crafts person herself. And also her channel has been kind of based around a form of budgeting. So it's kind of a funny dovetail into my interests. So I've been really enjoying her videos. So let's get into things that are cheering me up. Before I get started, down below, will you comment and tell me something that's cheering you up right now? I'd love to hear it. Okay, so number one, this is probably obvious, but my garden. The day I wrote this list, the peas and the potatoes were especially delighting me because they were starting to get kind of big. They were no longer just sprouts, but really they've all of the parts have been bringing me a lot of joy. It's really something to look forward to, and it's been a source of calm when I feel my anxiety taking over. Next on the list, and kind of related, is new leaves on my houseplants. So everything is kind of in spring mode now. Everything is growing, and I'm just looking at some of my plants over there on the bookcase, and I just see so many new leaves unfurling, and it's a really delightful feeling in this time that feels really constricted. It's really nice to see, you know, these beautiful things unfurling and growing. All right, so on that topic, a really specific plant thing that's bringing me a lot of joy is filling out my polka dot plant with propagated parts. So if you've watched my plant tour, you've seen my polka dot plant, and it started out as a little tiny 2-inch plant that didn't do very well, but there was one little stem that held on and just kept going and eventually just grew really big and vibrant, but it was just one little stem. So I bought another little 2-inch plant one day. I happened to see one at the store, and I put them together, and it did okay. But for some reason this year, it's just really, I guess I just found a good spot. It's really blown up, and I've been cutting off parts. It was a little leggy, so I've been cutting off parts, propagating them, and then adding them back in, and it's really starting to look like a full happening plant right now, and I just love it so much. It's just making me really happy. Next on my list is my most adorable cats. We can't really be around people now. I haven't hugged or been within 6 feet really of anyone in over a month, but thankfully I have my little cats who are like such good friends. They have really gotten me through a lot. They got me through moving across the country, and they're helping me get through this quarantine. So they're always a huge source of joy for me and comfort, and they definitely have been during the quarantine. I guess it goes without saying, but I had to say it. Next on the list is 2 projects that I've been working on, one through my job and one through my artist collective, but both are basically Zoom-based opportunities for artists to share content, and I've been working on one of them with local artists through my job and kind of running that completely, and then contributing to the one that my artist collective is doing, and they've just been really nice sources of place to socialize, sources of new information, getting to know my town and the local artists and organizations in town has been really cool, and getting to document that and kind of create an archive during this wild time has just been really fun. The next thing on my list is the thing I'm sitting on, which is my new bed frame. It's something that was on my list in general. Upgrading my whole sleeping situation has been on my list for years. My wants list, which I have a video about. But as we got put into, stay home, stay safe in my state, and I was suddenly spending a lot more time in my room, it really felt essential. I think it was easy to put off because I was really just sleeping on my bed at night in the midst of a really busy schedule. But I am busy now, but a lot of that time is spent in my room. So I've done that, and it's really just one of the best purchases I've ever made. Every single day I'm so happy about it. And also I have organized my room in a way that's so pleasant and like aesthetically pleasing now. Before, it was really just a functional space. I mean, I am about function, but it was just solely functional. There was not really anything pleasant about it. So now it's just transformed, and I'm so happy. So moving along, the next thing on my list is quarantine gifts and mail. So during this time, I feel really lucky to be part of this kind of gift economy that's sprung up between local friends. So I've received really sweet things like some air plants, cheesecake, and pastiera, which was really cool, ginger beer. I've shared things like bagels, chili sauce, lots of sourdough starter. And yeah, it's just been really fun. There's been a lot of like porch drop-offs and like pleasantly surprising gifts found on the porch. And it's just been a huge source of joy during this kind of weird, uncertain time. Next, I have, and on that topic, mail. So I'm not the best person with mail, but I've received some really nice pieces of mail. So I'm hoping to up my mail game, and I'm just really appreciative of all of the like back and forth and the giving and the connecting that's been happening. All right, next on my list, this isn't something that I've done a ton of, but I'm getting really excited about. So I have a soda stream. I was definitely an early adopter. I love my soda stream. I just usually make sparkling water in it because I can't smell. Like certain like essences don't really make that much of a difference. Occasionally I'll put lemon in my sparkling water, but I'm honestly just a little too lazy for that. But I've had a little extra time lately, and so I made some simple syrup, which is just half sugar, half water, and then melted until it's completely dissolved. And so adding a little bit of simple syrup and lemon to my sparkling water has been making me really happy. I have had a little bit of a hard time remembering to hydrate, and so making a lemonade during the day has kind of helped me get a little bit of a head start on hydrating. And it's just been really delicious and fun. All right, the next thing on my list is audiobooks. So I thank you, Kelsey Smith, for introducing me to Libby. As a librarian friend, people had told me about Libby, and I just like could not figure it out until Kelsey basically put it on my phone for me. And even after that, it took me a couple of months to get like a book in that I'd put on hold. But now I'm super into it, and in 2020, I bought a pair of wireless earbuds, and yeah, I've actually read more books probably already this year, listened to, than I did for the last 2 years. So it's really improved my quality of life. The next thing on the list is long, socially distanced walks, getting to know my neighborhood. I have taken socially distanced walks with a very few select people and very responsibly. And I just love getting to walk around the neighborhood. I just really could not be bothered to do that before. I just didn't feel like I had the time or whatever. I think I didn't have the time. But yeah, I've been getting to know the parks around here and walking like to the grocery store I used to go to. Now I just walk there instead of driving there. And it's been really pleasant. And the very last thing on the list is a very light, sweet thing. My sister Jackie introduced me to this TV show, Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. And it took me a while to get around to watching it. Actually, she had a week-long free trial to Acorn, the Acorn platform. And I tried it out during that time. I then got my own free trial, and then I decided to pay for a month. And I've been watching every single episode of Miss Fisher's Murder Mystery. On its surface, it didn't really seem like something I would like. I actually do like mysteries, but I'm not really into like historical fiction generally. But it's really delightful. It's about this woman who is a detective in 1920s Melbourne, Australia. So it's a really interesting like story, and then the character herself is just really badass and really fun, and the sort of whole show is kind of progressive. So even though they're talking about things that were like unheard of or illegal in the 20s, they're like talking about it in this really ethical and like sweet way, and getting kind of around sort of terrible rules that existed. And that just really struck me as delightful, but also just the aesthetics are just so good. So I highly recommend you check it out if you're looking for something to binge. And that is the end of my list. So yeah, let me know down below if you have something in particular that's been cheering you up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Go ahead and like this video and let me know down below what's cheering you up, and I will see you in the next video.